In June 1947, commercial ships were moving through the Strait of Malacca, navigating one of the most heavily trafficked maritime corridors on the planet. Suddenly, radio operators across multiple vessels began receiving a flood of frantic Morse code distress signals. They traced the source to a Dutch cargo ship, the SS Ourang Medan. The anonymous sender tapped out a horrifying message. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, probably whole of crew dead. A chaotic burst of unrecognizable dots and dashes followed. Then, the radio operator sent a final, chilling broadcast. "I die." The signal went permanently dead. Those final words turned an ordinary shipping route into the staging ground for a seemingly impossible maritime mystery. An American merchant vessel, the Silver Star, calculated the coordinates and intercepted the Ourang Medan a few hours later. From the outside, the ship floated perfectly intact, but there was no movement on the deck. When the rescue team crossed over the railing, they found a completely dead crew. Every single sailor was frozen stiff, eyes wide open, their faces contorted into expressions of sheer, agonizing terror. Rescuers began examining the bodies, looking for the cause of death. They found 0 physical wounds, not a single drop of blood, and no signs of a struggle anywhere on the vessel. Moving deeper into the ship, the boarding party hit a bizarre environmental anomaly. Despite the sweltering tropical heat and humidity outside, an unnatural ice-cold chill radiated from the lower cargo hold. The captain of the Silver Star ordered his crew to secure tow lines to bring the ship into port. The moment they finished, thick black smoke began pouring from the lower decks. The Americans fled back to their ship, just in time to watch a massive explosion lift the Ourang Medan out of the water. The ship plunged to the bottom of the ocean in minutes. This rapid sinking took the physical evidence with it, leaving investigators to grapple with a series of eyewitness reports that seemed to defy biological and environmental logic. To piece together what happened, forensic experts often start with the ship's mechanics. One theory places the blame on a catastrophic malfunction in the boiler systems, leading to a massive gas leak. Carbon monoxide is a lethal byproduct of burning coal. It is invisible, odorless, and kills efficiently without leaving a single mark on the human body. The problem with carbon monoxide is how it affects the brain. Victims typically become disoriented and slip quietly into unconsciousness. It does not induce violent spasms or freeze faces into expressions of screaming terror. A boiler leak explains the pristine, bloodless corpses, but it fails to account for the horrified expressions, the freezing cargo hold, and the explosive final blast. We have to look at what ships were actually doing in 1947. Following the end of the Second World War, massive stockpiles of highly classified surplus military chemicals were being moved covertly across the oceans. This leads to a strong physical explanation. The Ourang Medan was a black market transport ship, secretly smuggling highly lethal agents like potassium cyanide or nerve gas. If those containment units leaked, the biological reaction would be brutal. Exposure to nerve agents triggers violent muscle spasms and excruciating suffocation, matching the agonizing final moments etched onto the crew's faces. This animation shows the thermodynamics of a ruptured, highly pressurized cylinder. As escaping gas rapidly expands, it forcefully absorbs heat, a physical process called adiabatic expansion. This sudden temperature drop aligns with crew testimony. The expanding chemical pooled heavily in the bottom decks, reacting fiercely with the salty, humid atmosphere. Trapped in a confined space, that reactive, volatile cloud reached a critical mass. All it took was a single stray spark from the engine room to trigger a massive chain reaction. The hazardous cargo theory provides a scientific framework that accounts for the biological, environmental, and mechanical anomalies recorded by the rescuers. But proving this theory hits an immediate administrative wall. When investigators search international maritime registries, they find absolutely 0 official records for a Dutch ship named the Ourang Medan. One logical interpretation is that Allied intelligence agencies scrubbed the registries. An illegal chemical weapons disaster occurring in a highly visible commercial strait is a severe liability that governments would eagerly erase. The alternative explanation is that the entire event never happened. The distress calls, the shipboarding, and the frozen crew might be a fabricated maritime legend, born from the intense paranoia of the early Cold War era. The complete absence of a paper trail creates a permanent gridlock. We are forced to weigh an incredibly elaborate international cover-up against a perfectly engineered ghost story. Without a physical wreck to pull from the seafloor, the definitive truth of what happened that day remains out of reach. The story serves as a grim reflection of post-war military black markets or as proof of how rapidly folklore takes root among sailors. The enduring weight of the Ourang Medan comes from its proximity to our oldest primal fear, being lost in a vast, indifferent ocean. The ocean itself acts as a vast, unforgiving abyss. It has the power to swallow thousands of tons of steel, along with whatever deadly secrets they carry, leaving no trace behind.